Hello everyone. I know that many of you are aware that we have had a short series of 44 days of posting more or less every day that we were calling witch tips over on IGTV. So this is the first content that we are making for just you, the patrons, as a thank you for really supporting us with more than an emoji, more than a like, more than a share, with tangible support that enables us to do our work. So thank you so much. And what we wanted to offer to you as special patrons only content is the results of a process that we engage in once a season before everybody joins us on the land. By we, I mean me and the land steward, Carrie Lou Arnold. And we make time every season, really as quickly as we can after the first day of a new season, to spend a day just walking the land, looking around, listening, sitting, making ourselves available to receive the messages directly from the spirit of the land. And yes, there's an ancient feminine flavor to the communications, but the nature that we are participating with also has a great sense of humor, and thank goodness, because sometimes the transmissions are not easy to hear. But Beltane tends to be a more celebratory season, so there's nothing too serious, too intense to digest in time to be joined on the land by the apprentices. So what we wanted to do is share the notes from the listening, which is something we just started doing with the apprentices themselves, saying we want to bring them deeper into the magic and the flavor of the direct transmissions. But it feels like something worth sharing and appropriate to share with all of you as well. So here it goes. These are just things when we're sitting in our meditation that we hear, or when we're speaking and we feel like the speaking is going into a channeling that the other one might make note of and write down as like, that was really a transpersonal communication. So one of the first ones is, well, really the most important one was on the spirit of the season itself, and also a teaching on the triple goddess. So lots of people are becoming interested in goddesses and the idea of goddesses in different cultures, but I really feel that goddesses are energetic maps. So when they say life doesn't come with instructions, I say, oh yes, it does. There's entire cultures that have spent thousands and thousands of years decoding and preserving the instructions for us. And they are decoded and preserved in the forms of goddess iconography and goddess myths and storytelling. The triple goddess is yet another configuration or another way of understanding the multifaceted nature of goddess. So the triple goddess usually refers to a maiden mother crone. And so what the land was telling us is that there is a different message inherent in each seasonal celebration and each seasonal high ceremony, depending on whether you're a maiden, a mother, or a crone. So Beltane is most famous for being a fertility rite, made extremely popular by the book The Mist of Avalon and the borderline New Age pornographic depiction of the great marriage between a ritual priest and priestess that is a metaphor and not for the prayers for fertility and human belief that through our activities we can participate in and bring forth fertility for crops, health for animals, abundance in general. So, fertility festival, the symbol of the rabbit, is always associated with the fertility goddesses because rabbits, fuck like bunnies. Rabbits proliferate very rapidly. And so, using rabbits as the example, the land said to us that the maidens say, oh my gosh, look, there's bunnies. There's bunnies in the field. Bunnies. Oh, they're so cute. And the mothers will see the same bunny and think, those rabbits are getting in through the hole in the fence. We have to fix that hole in the fence because otherwise they are going to eat all of the roots of all of our vegetables that we just planted, and then nothing is going to grow here. There is not enough vegetation to feed all those bunnies and also feed all of the people who live here. What are we going to do? And it feels like some degree of stress or responsibility for this situation. And the elders swoop in with their cleaver and their cauldron and just are the ones who make the call. The unromantic assessment that it is rabbit stew time, and we eat them. That's what we do with the abundance, so that the abundance of life and fertility does not turn into a absence of life and fertility in another season. You eat it now and you don't think twice, and other than to be grateful. So cute bunnies, oh my god, too many bunnies, rabbit stew. That is the main message of Beltane. And then there were other really great ones that may or may not just be for our land, but I suspect would apply to others too. And one of them was really just about community, and it's saying if someone tries to tell you you can't have it all, you can look at them and say, you're right, you can't have it all. Furthermore, what we need to do is to learn to distribute our consciousness among all beings in the ecosystem. So while I cannot have it all and you cannot have it all, we can have it all. There was not any instructions yet. I suppose it's for us to be curious and go back to the oracle of the land and say, okay, how do we do that? But it was good to just get that little tip about where to focus our energies, distributing our consciousness. So I would put that another way and say, like, loosening our identification with like the self that resides inside this container under a certain name, and feeling the truth of our oneness with others, and thus being able to enjoy their successes as our own. Some other good ones. The land said, I think in regards to maybe who to bring onto the land or allow onto the land, said, we don't need another horny nature spirit rubbing up on everything. We need tools, usable tools. So, note taken. Another good one about questions around some of the practices that we have learned elsewhere and are bringing to the land about altars and like how to best participate with the altars and maintain them, which ones need to be built, which ones are non-essential, and it apparently is not a especially important topic to the land, I would imagine, because the whole land feels like an altar. But she says, an altar is just a place where you try a little harder. So what I get from that is that as long as she can feel that when people approach the altars, that they're trying a little bit harder to be a little bit more mindful and intentional than they normally would, then whatever it is that they do from there in the spirit of being respectful is welcome. So there's more, but I think that that's good for today. Hopefully those seasonal transmissions will apply somewhere in your universe, and let us know in the comments if they touched any special places inside you. Blessings.